2 years certainly goes by in the blink of an eye. I didn't expect to see the 2 year anniversary of my first EP to come as fast as it did, but here we are. Today, January 31st, marks the 2 year anniversary since I released my first album as an independent musician, Jojo's Horror Show. I've learned a bit over the past 2 years as an independent musician, and I figured I'd share it in this video. If you want to jump right to it, I'll probably post the time right about here. But to get started, I'll take you back about 2-3 years ago to give you an idea of where I came from. January 2020, that's when my journey started on becoming an independent musician. I was in a few music projects online. They began to fizzle out. I just left the band due to creative differences, and at this point I've been playing guitar about 12 years. I've had countless songs that I've had written at this point, and I knew that I really wanted to push forward and get my music released. And it wasn't until May of 2020 that the inspiration for my debut EP came into fruition. It all started when I had a dream that I was listening to a song that I was mixing. I isolated the vocals. I couldn't really make out what the vocals sounded like, but the vocal melody as well as the instrumentation really stuck in the back of my head. Here's a brief example of what it sounded like from my dream that I had almost 3 years ago. Once I woke up from my dream, I grabbed my notebook and I started writing down everything I could remember, from lyric ideas, rough chord ideas, sketches of melodies, and possible questions I had about the dream, and I've let it sit in the back burner of my notebook for a few months. Fast forward to October 2020. We're about 3 months before I released my debut EP, and I still didn't even have it fully written at this point. I came home from work one day, grabbed my guitar like I normally did, and I started playing. And I came across a distinct melody that sounded very familiar. As I strummed on my guitar a few more times, it hit me that the melody that I was playing on my guitar was very similar to the melody that I heard in my dream 5 months prior. Inspiration struck me. I was able to write and finish 3 songs in a span of about 2 hours. They included the tracks Jojo's Prologue, Jojo, and In My Head, all of which were included on my EP. The only song from my EP that I didn't write in this session was my song Everywhere You Go. I actually wrote that a few months before I wrote my EP, but I decided to include it since it fit in with my other songs very well. Here's a snippet video of the session musicians Sam and Katie performing on Everywhere You Go with the raw audio files. That song was intended to be for another project, but it fizzled out, so I decided to reapply it to my debut EP. But to get back to what I've learned in my time of being an independent musician and releasing my first album, here's a few things that I've learned. Number 1, believing in myself. Something that I've always done my best to do. I've always made sure to really push myself forward, and setting the goal to release my own music really made me strive to better myself and really believe in what I can do. Number 2, it'll make my production better. People will tell you this regardless of what you do. And to look back at my production, just the production alone of my songs from 2 years ago, I can see the improvement now to how I produce a song to how I was back then. And it's such a phenomenal feeling to see how I've grown in my production and my mixing abilities since then. Number 3, teamwork. As an independent musician, it really teaches you a lot of being a self-starter, a leader, as well as a team player. I've met some wonderful friends over the years who are phenomenal musicians, 2 of which were the drummer and singer that you saw earlier in this video. Without their talents, my songs wouldn't be nowhere near what they are. Number 4, marketing myself. Now this is something that I still have a lot of work to improve on, but I've learned how to create a little space in the world to show who I really am as an artist and musician. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always interested in audio and video production, So as I grew older, I knew it was something I really wanted to do, even if it was just a hobby. I began to really make a comfortable space for myself to express my musical interest. I began performing out, going to open mics, meeting a ton of wonderful musicians. I've even had a few of my songs appear on my local radio station, and I'm so glad that I set the goal and really learned how to market myself from music. Number 5, having fun no matter what. This is the most important thing I've learned since I've become an independent musician. I still work full time. I do this as something on the side to spend my free time, and I always find the happiness and fun in creating music as well as video content. This is probably the most important thing that I've learned, as well as something I could give advice to other musicians. As long as you're having fun with what you do, you won't mind putting in the long hours creating art, making music, finishing up that beat, finishing that video, no matter what it is. As long as you're having fun, you'll be able to continuously enjoy what you do. I've learned a lot of things over the past 2 years since releasing my debut EP, and I've definitely reignited my passion for music. Whether I get 10 views or 10 million views, as long as I'm creating, that's all I really care about. And if you want to check out my music, you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere that you listen to music. I go by my name, Billy McGuire, on all streaming platforms, and you can find my music there. If you want to see more content from me, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, you can like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, as well as follow me on Billy McGuire Music on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Until next time, guys, I hope you have a good one. All right, see ya.
Take my hand and dance with me to a broken melody. You have one chance, take it from me. As the drums play out of time, no need to